Karen Byrson MBE. Thank you so much for joining me today. You start in The Rainmaker, which is hitting UK screens on ITV1 very soon. I wanted to get started by asking about the book itself. So, the series is based on the New York Times #1 bestseller by John Grisham. How familiar with you with the book before the series? Was it something you're already a fan of, or did you learn a bit more about it after the role?
So I actually read it many moons ago, and it was part of my makeup, if that makes sense. It was such an iconic book at the time, the underdog doing well kind of thing. And when I got the part, I went to reintroduce myself. I found the book, well thumbed book, went to reintroduce myself and thought, actually, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to put this down in terms of moving forward with Dot Black, because in the book, she's slightly different. And what we've done is we've taken the source materials, brilliant source material, and run with it. So there are many things that are slightly changed. Things like Bruiser in the book was a man, and it's played by Lana Priya. And again, there's many little bits of differences in the story. So I thought, I've got to leave it. I've got to just go with our scripts and what we've got, even though I was familiar with the film and familiar, of course, with the book.
Of course. And how important was that to you to put your own stamp on Dot Black? Was there anything that you thought after reading the book, okay, I want to keep this, but I still want to change this other thing? Or was there anything you completely changed?
I just tried to, like I said, go with our scripts. What I
Yeah.
was, given in the scripts is who my Dot Black is.
Yeah.
Um, the writing was so brilliant on this. It's 10 episodes, so of course it's going to be slightly drawn out and different twists and turns. But there were many things. For example, a description of her was exactly the same as the book, that she had high-waisted jeans or big jeans, because she worked in a jean factory. So I kept that
Okay.
in my mind from my background, if that makes sense. So a lot
Yeah.
of Dot from a point of view of her backstory that I tried to keep in there, just to make her a fully old human being. But the scripts were brilliant anyway. So my source materials were our scripts.
Perfect. And you touched on it a little bit there about her backstory and who she is as a character. And obviously, Dot Black is a grieving mother whose son's case becomes the first for a new and aspiring lawyer. That clearly involved taking on some very deep and complex emotions, obviously, to get into that mind space. What was your preparation emotionally for playing Dot?
Wow. Okay. So I'm really present as an actor, and I'm a firm believer in getting your background done of who she is, so we understand the story of what's happened to her son. What was really, really important to me is, why does this woman on her own try and pursue a lawyer? Because she knows in her heart something happened to her child. So there was something really human about that emotion. If you know something, she knows her son, he's made mistakes, but something is wrong, something doesn't feel right. She's a fierce protector, um, and with a massive heart. So those were my sort of, it's a very feeling part. There wasn't many things that were intellectual about Dot. I just had to tap into my heart and what it would be like to know that there's been a miscarriage of justice, something is wrong, and pursuing that. It originally starts where she tried to file the paperwork herself. She doesn't know much about law, and a judge said, look, come back when you've got representation. And there we have it. Of course, it was Rudy Baylor, the only person who believed her. So there's a real, something to do with the heart was my Dot Black. I played it purely from a heart and head point of view, not intellectually at all.
Yeah, and that really comes across, as you said, it's such a raw and emotional performance. And I said it's so human, and it's very sad to think there's been so many people in real life in those situations, and just as you said, needing someone to believe you and to help you. And if they can't, trying to do those bits yourself. So it's such a really hard but very human thing.
And to trust, there's a trust element with her. There's a faith element with her, which is the thing that I think, like, Dot connects with people. You know,
Absolutely.
and a female instinct. I'm not disregarding men, but you know, female instinct. This is her.
Absolutely.
Something is wrong, and I'm not going to
Absolutely.
until I get justice, sort of thing.
Of course, as you said, yeah, that maternal instinct is so strong. And it's such an important part, maybe even the most important part of the whole series in a way, because that's what kickstarts the rest of the episodes. You said the 10 episodes. And she definitely evolves throughout that fight for justice, again, as we've just touched upon. But did you discover anything new about her during the actual script reading process? So when you read the first script and then you're working your way through the episodes, was there anything during that process that you thought, actually, this feels different at this time, or actually I want to do that again, but this time I want to put a bit more of a different emotion into it? Or was it very much, this is what I'm going to go with for the whole time?
Oh no, she evolved. And like I said earlier, I'm the type of actress who reacts in the space. It's all very well having backstory. That's in me. Now roll. Roll
Yeah.
with this team of people. And I mean everybody from the camera, director, and of course my scene partners. Something happened with Milo Callahan, who plays Rudy Baylor, while we were doing it. We had a trust from the minute we met. Something happened with us, knowing that Dot Black completely respects him and says, I really like you. There's a fire in your belly. You are the right person. It's not just anyone who believes her, him. So us as actors discovered so much beauty because there was trust off screen. So there are moments of touch. There are moments of where she's allowed to be vulnerable with this young man. There's a trust and there's a deep, deep, deep respect and friendship that builds. And I didn't necessarily see that in the scripts when I'd read it. That had happened in the space, in the time with this group of people, and certainly with Milo. Something happened with us as actors.
And that's really celebrating the importance of human connection as well, isn't it? Again, on and off screen, and how important that is to bring forward, especially in today's day and age, to have those connections and to connect on those personal levels just to help each other out,
Yeah,
especially again with such complex storylines like this.
yes, for
And
sure.
what was the most rewarding part of playing Dot for you?
Everything. I say this, no, honestly, I absolutely love Dot. And I'm going to get a little kind of political here, actually. Women get to a certain age, and sometimes representation on screen isn't there. It's like we fall off the
Absolutely.
cliff when we hit a certain age. So to play a woman with such an emotional arc, a strength, an inner strength, she's angry, but her grief does not break her, it propels her. Just this complexity of Dot has been an absolute joy. And to be honest, I didn't think I'd get a part like this in my life. I absolutely love Dot. Dot is in my heart.
And you were perfect for her. You really, really were. And
Thank you.
there's so much, again, touching on what you just said, it's actually really sad because I totally agree. I do think we do see, I mean, you can see it in the statistics, it gets to a certain point and then the line graph kind of drops down. And I
Yes,
think we do need more representation from people from all backgrounds as well. It's definitely needed in the industry. So I'm really happy that Dot Black's brought a little bit of that back to screens.
nice.
And a lot can be said from what people learn about legal dramas. As you said earlier with Dot, she was reading through all these papers. I think it kind of translates to the same for an audience sometimes when you're watching a legal drama or maybe even a medical show or something like that. You kind of learn these little tidbits from what you're watching. They're increasingly popular now. And what do you hope viewers take away from the series and learn from it in terms of it being a legal drama?
Wow. I mean, there's lots of things that I learnt legally. I weirdly, even though it's a legal drama, it is about these characters. It's character driven. So as much as we get carried away with the legalese, as it was, and the legal element to it all, I think it's about the characters and how they react, which propels the story on. And of course, John Grisham knows law, so that is
Yeah.
that is there. That's a given. But I do think it's about the characters. I think that's when an audience connects. If we were just watching a real life replaying of a case. Yes, fascinating as it unfolds, but it's the people that we get connected to. Once we hear the testimonies of people, we suddenly form opinions based on what we think about them. It's all character, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think with such strong characters, I mean, there's many spread across the whole series. It definitely has those little subgroups that different people can connect with watching it. See, one audience group may think, actually, I connect with you, again, for many others. And I definitely think in terms of Dot Black, as you said, there's going to be a lot of people that relate to her on that human level through that character connection. Obviously, people of a certain age, women, so many different communities, and I think that that's really important. I think that's what the Rainmaker delivers on so well, is those really important stories.
And
Um,
even as a massive thing, you look at a David and Goliath story, that's exactly what it is. The
yeah,
small taking on this huge conglomerate of a law firm, and we know what happens. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? That
yeah.
journey, something fulfilling about that. The football team that's not Premier League, what's the one under it? Who then,
Oh,
do you know what I mean? From the
yeah,
underdog beating a Premiership team, it's
yeah,
that, yes, the underdog. That's sort of, I think that's something in us as human beings. That we
absolutely. I
actually,
love an underdog story. Yeah, it's so rewarding to watch, and as you
yeah,
said at the end, you actually find yourself like, yes, there's that
yeah,
viewer satisfaction.
yeah,
Especially being invested for 10 episodes,
yeah.
you need to keep that momentum up, because there's nothing more disappointing than maybe when it does go the other way and you're just thinking, oh no, especially if you're so wrapped up in it, it becomes so real.
Exactly, and very personal.
Absolutely, it really, really does. And what was your best memory to take away from the set that you still look back on now? Was there any funny stories? Anything crazy happen?
Oh, we used to have a real laugh. There are a couple of times during the court scenes, the court days are really long. And this whole TikTok thing, I've just been getting into it. But there was this whole thing, I know, of the dance. There was a dance that was popular at the time. And spontaneously, a few of us were in the green room waiting as they're lighting the set. And we just started dancing. And that's one of the major, major memories of a few of us dancing in the break,
Oh,
which,
I love that.
yeah, really lovely. And the joy you can see. Yeah, it was I call it the Rainmaker family. I've got to say, a beautiful, beautiful experience with fantastic people, everyone. So the crew, the camera crew, our directors, just special.
And I
Really,
think having those relationships off screen really helps it on screen, as you said, having these, impromptu dance breaks. That must have helped, especially if it came after something that was quite hard hitting to film, or something that took a lot out of you, to have that burst of energy back in. I think, right, let's go back into it, into the next scene.
and you were completely right. Dot's emotion was always simmering. There was a moment in the court, and I don't know if I'm spoiler alert, but there was a moment in the court where there's a TikTok from my son who isn't there, and the showrunner Michael Seitzman was directing these two episodes, and they had in the courtroom a screen that, like you were in a court to look, so the jury could look at this TikTok video about him doing well, and I glimpsed it as we're about to set up, and I said to Michael, "Do you mind if I don't look at that until you've got a camera on me? Because you're going to get something really raw." When
Mm.
I don't even want to start crying now. When I saw that video, sorry,
No, no, go ahead, take your time.
when I saw that video, and Michael was really kind enough to go, "Karen, let's rock," because I know what you're like as an actress. You feel. I saw that video, I felt sick. Because we have been talking about Donnie Ray for 9 episodes, and then suddenly as being not with us and what happened to him. And then there's this video of the young actor play. Oh my God. I then looked, I'm in the stand and I look at this video, my heart was ripped out. I literally had to hold on tight like Dot would so she's not bawling in front of people. But that was something real. And lovely Michael, allowed me that space. He allowed me to say, do you mind if I don't look at it? And I think there's something in you shooting this right away when I look at it for real. Because I kid you not, when I saw it, and he's like, hi, I'm good at. And that's the thing about videos now. You know, we
Yeah,
have them on cameras, and if someone's not here, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because it's not a photograph, they're living and moving. Yeah, that was full on, but I think
goodness.
it's real.
Yeah, I bet that was. I can't even actually imagine it. I bet getting into as connected as you were to Dot Black as well, as you said, as you're getting emotional now as well. It
And
does
now,
hit, and it
yeah,
must bring you into how people in those situations actually feel and how hard that must be, as you said, to have those constant reminders on social media or just anywhere. And as you said in a video as well, when you can hear their voice, I bet that was just.
yeah, it was extraordinary. And like the cases we've seen where there's been miscarriages of justice, or there's, long cases where people have fought hard to get justice for their dead children, for example. Um, it's broken families because the emotion is so high. Their lives are different. From that moment on, their lives are different. That dedication, that reason to live. Like I said earlier, her grief propels the fight because she was broken.
What a powerful line as well. Grief propels the fight.
Yeah,
And I'm actually, as hard as it must have been to film, what an amazing creative decision for you not to see it, to have that incredibly human reaction to it. Because some stuff you just, as much as people are amazing actors, some stuff is just, it just hits on that deeper level and it just makes it so much more of a, I can't even imagine it. I really can't. So kudos to you for doing it. Um, What would be one thing that you would want to say to viewers as a message of hope that are going to watch the series or thinking of watching it, maybe have read the book or seen the movie? What's one thing that you would want to say to empower them to watch it or to maybe if it's not the normal thing they'd usually watch, to tune in?
it's a wild ride, and it's something that I believe once you get into it, you're going to want to know what happens next. There's so much in it. And it's the thing about the Rainmaker and our Rainmaker is I truly believe it's something that it's not asking massive questions of the world. There's lots of great dramas that have a lot of politics involved and they are moving things forward in terms of starting debate. This is something where I think you'll sit and watch it and enter a world. So for an hour of respite, the world is a very interesting place right now. And to have an hour respite once a week where you look forward to the next thing, there's something really fundamental and quite old fashioned about that. And that is what I love about people watching the Rainmakers, sharing our work, because I really do think it will be one of those things you put the telly on, get some snacks, and literally just be in another world of Carolina for an hour, and then you can't wait for next week. Or if you binge it, you'll be going, what's next? That. That's it.
Absolutely.
We've got a hard world. It's nice to just escape.
It really is. And I think people need to be immersed in stuff nowadays as well. People need that long form content, as you said, to look forward to and to think, as you said, "Oh, now I'm just going to sit down for my snacks, few Maltesers or something, and just enjoy."
Exactly. Yeah.
um, Karen, thank you so much for speaking to me today. I have to say, this has been an incredible interview, and thank you for tapping back into your emotions.
Oh,
I know that
thank
it's
you
been
for
really,
allowing me. That
of
was a bit
course.
thing. I didn't. That's testament to you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It really has been a pleasure to talk to you and to discuss Stop Black. I really think that British audiences are going to love it. And thank you for bringing her to life in this new way.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.